Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Facebook. Hold on, one of our cameras just, okay. Good afternoon. Good evening, Facebook and Instagram family. Welcome, and thank you for joining us for another episode of Back to the World Presents Brillianaires Roundtable Conference and Sonetquity Bookclub meets Smart Desktop AI. I'm Tony.
I'm John.
And the music that you may hear in the background, we don't own the rights to. But if you have any comments, questions, or anything that you care to share, anything that you care to import, any questions that you may have, hit us in the boxes down below. And on our YouTube page, hit the like and the subscribe. Okay? Anything you care to share, Ed?
Well, we come, in our humble spirit of, just thanking everyone who would join in now or later, just to hear the contents of what we're speaking about, because we are speaking from a business perspective of how to, how to get out of a situation that we find ourselves in based on using the principles of wealth. And that's what our platform is about. Our Brillianaires Roundtable Conference is to illustrate and demonstrate through a conversation of how we can exercise or become how we can exercise the oneness. If it was a sickness, we would have the cure to the sickness or the solution to the problem.
So tonight, well, I did an earlier podcast, and I kind of want to just elaborate a little bit on that as I turn this camera just a little bit. There we go. I just want to elaborate a little bit and expound. Well, as I said earlier, we've been doing Back to the World going on 5 years now, and we're still here, okay? And a lot of people, we've seen a lot of people come and go over the past 5 years. I see so many new faces on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and now TikTok. But and they're doing different things, and then there are those who aren't there anymore that was doing really big things early on. Now, is our podcast making the monies that some of these other podcasts are doing that people are claiming that they're making? No, we're not. It's not our intention and our goal. It wasn't our primary goal. Our primary goal was to serve the people, okay? It was to serve our audience. As I stated, we're still here. I was just noticing this morning, the two Kelsey brothers, they just received $100 million for their podcast. That's remarkable. Can we get a $100 million contract? I don't know. All things are possible, but we have to keep in mind, these are professional athletes. They have a following. They're already entertainers. Okay? Even Mace and Cameron, right? They got a large contract for 8 figures. What is 6 figures? Yeah, 7 figures. They got a large contract for 7 figures and everything. But keep in mind, each and every one of those guys are entertainers as well. They're famous. So we've stayed on the message. And I'm just going to go down the list to you because a lot of people were stating that, we're getting away from what our podcast is about. And we're not. Initially, Back to the World was started to assist in the transitioning of people coming home from the military, from hospitals, from prisons. That was our purpose. And, you know, I was watching sports on TV, and I was watching Fox Sports Network, and I was watching ESPN and what have you. And I noticed these guys that were doing, they was doing a broadcast like in a room. The lighting was different. Everything was live. It's almost like they were doing it in a closet, to be honest with you. And it wasn't a well-equipped studio. They just had the mic, they had the computer in front of them, the whole bit. So I decided right then and there that I wanted to do a podcast. But I didn't necessarily know what my subject matter was going to be. Okay? We're going to get into that. But when we started adding other functions and other services to our podcast, people started thinking that we were getting away from the message, and we're not. Our message clearly is about helping the people, and we're still on that subject. We haven't gotten away from it. So, as I said, Back to the World was started to help everyone transition back into society, getting their IDs, getting their Social Security, getting their Social Security card, or getting housing, helping them to get clothes if they didn't have clothing, places to live even. That was our goal. Then we morphed and we shifted into Brillianaires Roundtable Conference. But see, keep in mind, Sonetquity was the catalyst for all of this. We built Back to the World to get the gathering of all the people that was returning back to society. We wanted to get their ear, okay? But our purpose was to get their ear and bring them to the table so we can introduce them to Sonetquity.
You know, as my partner mentioned, when he say, Pop, man, let's do a podcast, right? We said, man, we're gonna name it Back to the World. And he and I, at that moment, we knew what that meant. See, not back in the world, but back to it, right? Because especially he and I, by being away for a certain amount of time, and we just wanted to give back. It was all based on giving back to ease that transition, because it's difficult being away from society, because every day something has changed. And he and I, my partner, we was away for years, right? And so we didn't really, quote unquote, we had help, but we wanted to be helpers in the cause of freedom, in the cause of being released properly, in the cause of transitioning. We didn't start this for entertainment purposes, right? Because we're not a sports show. You know, we about life issues, right? And so it's like everybody don't watch the news at a particular time. Some people just like sports. Some people don't watch the news, right? Because it's like the news, they say the news is too serious, right? So they chose entertainment over information, right? And so what we did, we started an information-based podcast to aid and assist, because if we would have been on the inside, it would have been inside transitioning, or how to come from the streets but to the inside. But it's the opposite. We're showing how to come from the inside and function properly, or be assisted properly on the outside, right? And so, and we use the mathematics, because initially, we knew a lot of people that were getting released because laws were changing, as my partner did, he got clemency. So that meant it was people that was getting, where the doors were opening, and we seen many people on the inside who didn't have no assistance, who didn't have no help. So it was based So it was formulated from that heart, not from to be on this big platform. So of course we want that attraction. Of course. Who don't? Because we're doing it for a purpose. We're not doing it for popularity, right? Now we say, okay, Brillianaires Roundtable. Brillianaires. The name in itself is not because it takes unity. Two or more, because no one can do nothing by themselves. Nothing. Right? Because we can't do nothing by ourselves. We can think, but we can't do, right? So okay, it's like because the load gets lighter when we lift. So our Brillianaires Roundtable Conference podcast is different from Back to the World. But it's based on the initiation, and then we see because we make emotion. Now, once you're settled home, now we got something else to do, right? Because why? Now we need finances. Now we need unity. Now we need businesses. Now that's what we need after we get home. First thing we got to do is get home, right? So, okay, now we help with that. We aid and we assist with that. My partner and I, we was doing, I always tell them about it. We give away clothes. Whatever it is that we had to do to ease that transition, that's what he and I literally did. But we're not around there blowing our horns about that. We're not, because we're not doing it to be seen. We're doing it because it's needed, right? We say, okay, now here we go. Brillianaires Roundtable Conference. Now we talk about Sonetquity. We talk about an arc. We talk about working in unison, right? To become one because we got one aim, one desire. So it's one result. Poverty is a sin. It's a sin. It's disrespect. It's disrespect. Poverty is disrespectful. Because it's disregarding the principles in this universe that exist. When we disregard unity, when we disregard helping one another, that's a sin because now it's because a small-minded individual thinks for themselves. A broad-minded individual, of course, you have to think for yourself, but you also have to think for the others. Is right? So this is what we built because when my partner introduced it to me, Sonetquity, I immediately saw it. Immediately. Because why? We trained for this moment. We trained for this moment. We say, okay, now it's not about us, it's through us, but it's not about us. It's about you and us together, okay? Now, because as my partner was talking about the Kelsey brothers, right? One of those brothers, I think two of those brothers won the Super Bowl. Two of them. Well, both of them, rather. They won the Super Bowl. And they will tell you, I heard one of them say, man, I want that just as much for my brother as I want it for me. See? So now, when you want something for another person that you want for yourself, you help them. You help them achieve that because that's what you want for yourself. So we're not selfish with the information. It ain't no, big us, little you. It's none of that. It's us working together to remove that impediment that's affecting us in our society.
When we started Brillianaires Roundtable Conference, keep in mind, we hadn't fully built our platform for Sonetquity. So we wanted to unveil Sonetquity once our system was functioning, up and running. All right, took a lot of work, a lot of manpower, took a lot of money, right? So what we did, what we wanted to do, back to the world, we talked about transitioning. We talked about things that went on inside the prison system. We talk about people getting clemency and returning home to society. We talk about youngsters that's coming into prison that didn't have an idea about financing, didn't have an idea about credit, didn't have an understanding, or didn't even know how to write checks. And I know many of you say, well, you don't have to write checks. You can transfer your money. Yeah, but checks still exist. So anything that still exists in the monetary system, you need to know about it. So not just young guys, you had guys that were my age, some older, didn't know how to write a check, never had a checking account. So our platform for Brillianaires Roundtable Conference, and let me tell you where that name came from. See, everyone's fascinated about being a millionaire, a billionaire, a trillionaire, or a zillionaire. So we wanted to deal with those illionaires. And how we wanted to deal with all those illionaires is with great ideas, great understanding. So with greatness comes brilliance. So we put a spin on that name and we named it Brillianaire. Brillianaires Roundtable Conference. A conference at a round table for a bunch of thinkers. Now, you didn't necessarily have to be literally sitting at the table, but we wanted your input. We wanted you to join in. And what we wanted to extend, we wanted to extend an understanding about economics. First, we wanted to deal with what leaders are. We wanted to deal with how to be a leader, when to recognize a leader. And don't just because a person's a leader and they're in charge, it doesn't necessarily mean that you are a follower. You're a conduit. People get thrown off by the term follower, but yet that's something that we reach out for on social media. We try to get as many followers as possible, right? So does that make you a leader? Not necessarily so. There are certain qualities that determine a leader, but see, most leaders are determined by the people, not because they're the strongest, not necessarily because they're the smartest. It's just that they have great leadership skills. So we wanted to show that. We wanted to show how economics work in the universe. You see, a lot of us think that we create certain things when we build a business or we start a business and that business becomes very successful. And we think that we made that happen. No, all you did obviously was follow the dictates of the prosperity Bible and the universal law of economics. Right?
That's right.
There is no substitute. Sometimes you may not even know what it is. Right? You may not even know what it is, but you do it instinctively, right? That means, if you have a product, you market it properly, you distribute it properly, you're real good and courteous to your customers, and you set a base price and you try to gauge the market and know what areas to target. So Brillianaires Roundtable Conference dealt with all of that. And it dealt with things about the military, the whole bit. We talked about how to service a debt, how to grow an organization for what we were trying to do with affiliate marketing and network marketing. So a lot of people run away from network marketing, but see, the truth of it is, network marketing is what would free us as a people financially.
Come on now.
But we run away from it because we've heard so many dastardly things the whole bit. People say that, anything where you have to sign someone up, it's illegal. But that's affiliate marketing. McDonald's is an affiliate. That's what franchises are. Franchises are affiliates.
Come on now.
Right? So, this is the way you grow. And with the pandemic and with everyone getting involved with blessing circles, the whole bit, a lot of people jumped into blessing circles for one reason. And I understand that. They jumped into it only to earn the money. And that's what you should do, because that's your purpose for joining, especially if you're suffering financially, right? You want to get in it because you want to win. But what would make you win and continue to win is if you understood the history and you understood the mechanics of the gifting circle or the blessing circle, as you want to call it. See, the Susu circle has been around for thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of years. Every immigrant that migrates to this country, they still do that. See, we never had to do it because it's been oppressed and taken away from us. Right? If our ancestors did it, they're no longer here, and it wasn't passed down to us because they were living in a volatile time. They was living in a time where they couldn't really interact, and then they had to do it clandestine. They had to do it underground, so to speak, not literally. But, the blessing circles, people try to do a money grab. They just wanted to get in, get the money. And as soon as they got some, it's almost like spinning the wheel on Price is Right. When you have an opportunity to spin again, or you might lose all the funds, you say, well, you know what? I'm going to hold. I'm not going to spin. And that's understood. So that's what people did with the blessing circles, and they didn't re-enter. See, you have to pay your fare to keep the wheel turning. You can't get some money and then you stop, because what you do now, you kill the entire process. Because it's the funding that you reinsert back into the system that keeps the system operating and keeps it turning. So many of you that had earned $28,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 doing this, had you paid it forward and continue to service your downline, it would not have ended. Case in point, Bernie Madoff, for instance. I talked about this morning. See, Bernie Madoff ran what is called the Ponzi scheme. Bernie Madoff nor Ponzi started their businesses with the idea of ripping people off. It didn't happen that way. But what happened with Ponzi what happened with Bernie Madoff, it's that the real estate market crashed. And when the real estate market crashed, everyone that had money, excuse my hair, everyone that had money rushed to the banks to withdraw their monies from the bank. They rushed to the banks to withdraw their monies. So when they did that, it frightened the entire industry. So see, you needed money to sustain. I'm not saying what Bernie Madoff did was good or bad. I'm only giving you an example. But had people not rushed to the banks to withdraw their money and held out and then wanted to withdraw their monies from his business, he would have still been operating that today. Trust me on this. There are so many people that became multimillionaires from participating with him over a 30-year period than you can really imagine. See, again, the system doesn't fail the people. The people fail the system. If you get two people on a seesaw, right, and they are equally weighed, right? If the seesaw is just sitting there in balance, it's not doing what it's supposed to do. That nullifies everything that a seesaw is worth, or that a seesaw is meant for, right? It defies what its purpose. A seesaw is meant to go up and down. It's not going to do it by itself. It only does it with your energy. You have to give it energy. That's you paying it forward. Okay? And then that particular apparatus is going to do what it's supposed to do. And it's just like with an hourglass. With an hourglass, the top cylinder is filled with sand. There's a small circle or hole in between those two cylinders. Okay? When the top cylinder is filled with sand, it empties into the bottom cylinder. No more sand is added. And it can continue and go on and on and on. Because once the bottom filled, then you flip it over and then you reciprocate and it does the same thing. That is what network marketing, multi-level marketing, affiliate marketing is all about. And this is the way that you sustain a people. The Roman Empire, the Egyptian Empire, the Persian Empire, all was sustained by everyone working together. And that's what immigrants know that we don't know. We spend $1.6 trillion back into the economy every year. 1.6 trillion. That money doesn't circulate in our community, less than a mustard seed. So you can't even weigh it. It's almost as if it didn't circulate. But we as a black community, we spend $1.6 trillion. If you lodge $1.6 trillion with Fidelity, Ariel, or any other investment bank or investment company and let them trade those funds, in 1 year's time, you will earn at least 10 to 15% on your money. So let's keep it a buck. Let's say it only earns you 10%. you would have earned $106 billion as a people. 106 billion. There are 50 states. You divide 106 billion by 50. And let's keep the numbers around. Each state would get $2 billion. But keep in mind, Wyoming, Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota, Alaska, Iowa, Nebraska, Hawaii. You don't have enough blacks there to register. So, it's not that those states would not get any money. They just wouldn't need $2 billion to maintain those communities and build the infrastructure there, right? So the rest of those funds will go back into the pot for all the cities and states, really, that has a black economical problem. Those $2 billion, it will build up the infrastructure, more businesses within the community, right? More commerce, more protection. It can probably pay to supplement policing throughout that community, to stop a lot of the crime that's going on, the whole bit. So see, the Asian community does it, the Hispanic community does it, and you see it. You see it in every city. We're the only ones that don't follow suit. That's what Brillianaires Roundtable Conference was all about.
Yes, sir. Going back to the spirit of the initial intent for Brillianaires Roundtable Conference, a podcast, it was, to attract a degree of unity or working together to remove the impediment of poverty, not just in black communities, but yes, in black communities first. Because why? We can't skip where we started from. So we planted the seed there first. That's just a law of nature. Plant a seed where you are. That's where we are. Right? And as that seed begin to prosper and expand and develop roots to create a foundation that's stable enough to embrace others, that's where we are. And so we wasn't just talking about something that's not in existence. We was projecting, like businesses do, projecting, when we do this, this will happen. Not if we do this, but when we do this. And so, with my partner and I, we had two things against us, but we have more things for us. The two things that was against us was the people in our environment. Because we're dealing with a people and oppressed people. Oppressed people with a closed mind. Because what we're talking about is not taught in schools. It's frowned on. So it's distasteful. So we begin to speak on the history abroad. So we reached out to bring it closer, to show that, hey, it works. So, but from the questions that we got from the people in our environment, we got some poor questions. We got questions like, what if don't nobody do nothing? I don't know that many people. Ain't nobody gonna do that. What I'm gonna get for it? Ain't nobody reading books. So we got all the opposition. We got that out the way. Because in the process of building something big, you have to go through that process. It's not comfortable, especially for people that look like us. Because the spirit in which it is designed and built to project the results that's real, it was built in the right spirit. So the wrong spirit began to oppose it. Man, I don't know 5 people. But you just left 50 people. You just then gave a clear description of some merchandise that you just got from somewhere, or some food that you just ate from somewhere, or you just referred somebody to something. But when it comes to working in a uniform way to produce a desired results, now your brain done went dead, and now you don't know 5 people. Or you done told yourself, ain't nobody gonna do that. But people doing it every day. So it's in the scripture say we went to the poor and the poor rejected us.
Yep.
So now when we go to other people, now we're being viewed as we think we better than the people. See? So we can't let that entertainment, because this is not entertainment, this is real life. See, we don't have the, like we mentioned earlier, we don't have the base. We're not entertainers. We don't get them to entertain, because when we walk outside our doors, it's real. It's poverty out there. In every city in this country where black people reside, every last one of them. I don't care how you try to name it, because it's the same results, it's the same condition, different name. I don't care what Florida hospital it is, there's still, this is no fun intended, there's still people that need to be remedied or fixed or healed or cured. See? But they make mockery of us, and then that's one of the things. Another thing is that my partner and I, we coming from a reputation in an ecumenical environment that we survived through. Now we got the foundation of back to the world. See? And then what got us to have to come back is the things that we was doing before then. So we clearly say we ain't fall from heaven. We coming from below. Meaning a foundation. So we set a foundation with our people. All people now, because this is a solution to a financial problem using universal principles. With a product that's, when you look at if you really knew the monetary aspect in the publishing and book industry, you wouldn't look at books the same no more. Now you hear us often make reference to Amazon, Jeff Bezos, his team, and Amazon. You see that blue van coming through, you never thought it started with a book. You don't even think about a book no more when you think about Amazon. You think about everything else other than how it initially begun. My partner and I, we still in our initial phase. Yet we have joined joint ventures, affiliates, and everything else to present to our people once the wheels get to turning. See? So we got things that's coming. So we, in our initial phase, then we have people who are dissatisfied with multi-level marketing or network marketing because they got in and thought it was abracadabra. Yet all of us have 168 hours in every week. Most people use their 168 hours doing things that they hate. I hate this job, but I got to do it. So we're throwing a safety net to say, this is how you can create a residual income, meaning a vacation making money. Because the initial efforts and energy that was put into it, now money is making money. Let us ask you a question. Let Brillianaires Roundtable Conference ask you a question. Would you want to make money with money and time, or use your time making money? Answer that in your own mind. Would you want to use time and money to make money, or use your time to make money? Is that oxymoronic, or is that clear? Meaning, make money, let time make money. Now you can sleep, because time don't stop. But time is making money. Because the money in that time is making money. Or do you have to be up? And that's the only way you're going to make some money. See? You choose that. People in multi-level marketing, not in no Ponzi scheme, not in no kind of scheme or Ponzi's, none of that, are not scheme, because everything with the schematics. See, we want to clear up the language so we can understand it better. Would you want to use a scheme, meaning a systematic way of making it, not a Ponzi, meaning something for nothing, or nothing for something, rather. See? Or would you want to make money, let time make money, and money make money? See? If you choose, whatever you choose, there's opportunities in whatever your choice is. We'll want to attract the people who want to use time, not let time use you, and use money to make money. That's what Sonetquity is about. And every association and affiliation that we have with Sonetquity, that's what it's about. Brillianaires Roundtable Conference is a table to facilitate the ideas and to help exercise and strengthen other members or other people. Strengthen them first. Back to the World is the gateway or the door from people who have been released from any type of confinement, be it prison, the lack of knowledge, whatever it is, whatever it is, because we want to get you back on your feet. Okay? But if no one can help someone who don't want to help themselves, we're no exception to that. So we don't want you to get on here and get to laughing, although we want humor too, because we have it. But it's not funny looking at our people swimming in a lake of poverty. That's not funny at all. And we send our congrats to those people who have benefited from their platform. Hell, help us. So we're men. We don't have that type of characteristics to not help for help. Help us. Help others. Because why? We're helping ourselves. So help is coming. And we're here to assist and aid with that help.
I'm going to ask you guys permission to speak freely. We're not going to blow smoke. All right? I mean, we're going to say it like it is. See, most people that are institutionally involved with network marketing, they've been somewhat brainwashed, and they're lying to themselves first off, and then they'll lie to you, to the audience, to those who are really in need of any sort of opportunity that can earn them residual income or their primary income. It doesn't have to be supplemental. All right? So we're not going to lie and say every network marketing company, I don't care if it's from makeup to vitamin supplement to home care to coffee. Network marketing companies and multi-level marketing systems they've been designed and they're in business for one thing, for everybody to make money. They're designed that way. But you have a duty that you must carry out in order for that to happen. And in building this system, we try to make it simple. Because a lot of systems, a lot of businesses, they're expensive to join. You would have to pay a ransom in order to become a member. And then every month after that, you would have to buy the product whether you're selling it or not. That's understandable, right? Some people are better than others and they will sell. People make money at network marketing. They've created more millionaires than any other business or any other industry.
That's right.
In the world, right? So that's what the business is here for. But a lot of people get caught up and they start talking about, look, when we first designed this system, we wanted to design it where it was affordable at $65 a month. Now, if you haven't sold the thing or done a thing, I can understand you looking and saying $65 a month, you're already panicking. You haven't given yourself a chance.
Come on now.
Right? Stormy was a member of Body Magic. I'm gonna get back to my original point. Stormy joined Body Magic. A guy saw her dancing in a strip club. And she was looking dejected the whole bit. The guy said, you know what? You look like you'd rather be any other place than here. And she said, yeah, I would, you know. They were living in a house, her and 5 other ladies, maybe 6, and they didn't have running water. They would have to go to the gas station, man, to wash up the whole bit. That's deplorable for a female to have to go through, right? So the guy said, how would you like to make $30,000 a month? She was offended because she's thinking the guy is propositioning her. So he said, no, that's not what I'm doing. I want to tell you about a great opportunity that's called multi-level marketing. So he told her about Body Magic and that it was a waistband to help reduce the fat around the midsection. So she thought about it. So she got with her other friends, other roommates, and she told them about it. And they said, it's a Ponzi scheme, it's this, it's that. Right? I'm going to show you the ignorance in that. So she said they finally talked about it a little more. So they got together, they prayed about it, and they had a come to Jesus moment. They all joined. Stormy's first month, she didn't earn $30,000. Stormy earned $67,000. She exceeded what was proposed and presented to her. Right? So, why I say that it was crazy initially, here are 7 women. And between the 7 of them, they couldn't pay rent. And they were strippers. But the first thing they would say is that it's illegal. Or the first thing they'd say, oh, that's that Ponzi scheme. Let me tell you, if it was a Ponzi or whatever the situation it is, if I'm starving, I want to see how it works. Especially if a guy told me I can make $30,000 a month. Right now, I'd be pretty good with $300 a month if you're making nothing. Right? So if you are on your last leg, and then you ask the question, so what do I get for $65? You get an opportunity to change your life. You get an opportunity to come up out of the hellhole, out of the doldrum of being financially strapped, right? The book doesn't cost $65. And the first thing people say, well, I can go to Amazon and buy a book. I can go to Borders. I can go to Book a Million.
Come on now.
But they will not offer you an opportunity to make $19,525 a month and some. Okay? If a person tell you you spend $65 a month to earn $19,525 a month, I don't give a shit about nothing else because, as I said, you're in it for the money. Let's not lie to ourselves. Why are you caring about whether or not it's a book? And then if the book is good, if you can earn $19,525, and it can change your life. When you make that money, hell, go buy a good book. Don't rely on us selling you a good book. Go buy a good book. You got $20,000 to do so. So that's where we've been tricked as a people. You see, the first thing we start thinking is that things are illegal. Don't you know at one time you can give insider trading information and there was no laws against it? You did it on your good merits. But then when black folks start learning about that and they start sharing information, they regulated it. People would sit around their dinner table. When somebody was an investment banker, he would tell his family members, he said, hey, look, pool your monies together. There's about to be an IPO on Tuesday. IPO means a company that's going to go public. Initial public offering. So when that happens and you put up your little meager money, then as it turned by the end of the day, you could have put in $1,000. By the end of the day, you got 100,000, maybe even 1 million. But we run from that. We try to be holier than thou, and we think that the same thing applies to us. You're broke. You're destitute. You're poor financially. But then you ask, all I get is a book for $65? Nah, you know quite a few other people that are in the same conditions financially that you are in. That's where you start. It just drives me crazy that people that's doing badly are the ones that ask the most questions and the ones that are the most skeptical about things. Many of our friends, man, many of the people that we know, associates and family members, they think that we're crazy because we've stuck with this. And you know what? It's going to catch on because we have not given up. We've added things. We've added a company called Nilly that give advances to 5-star and 4-star and 5-star athletes. That's to help the parents to continue their kids' training and education. And it can supplement their income. And then before, by all accounts, that kid signed a multi-million-dollar contract. We've partnered with Capri Mortgage. With Capri Mortgage, if your credit score is right at a 600 or better, you get 0 down financing. So that's affordable housing. We have a food bank. We have a warehouse to where we gather food and we give out the food to the churches that in turn give the food out to the public. There are people pulling up, man, in Mercedes-Benzes, Jaguars. I haven't seen a Rolls Royce yet. Range Rovers, Porsches. I've seen people come to get food driving these cars. Who are they lying to? You see? We created this for people who are downtrodden. That's who we created it for. And the ones who we created the business for, they're the ones that inquire the least.
Come on, bro.
They're the ones that inquire the least, man. And I'm just telling you this, man. Like I said, you can dress it up. You can put perfume, pearls, and a purse on a pig. It's still a pig. Don't lie to yourself. Stop asking these questions. We're talking about, is the product good? I told you I have a mentor, and he's a comrade of ours. He's one of our comrades, Mr. David Bryant. David and I, man, not an argument. We just had a heated discussion about network marketing a whole bit. See, his views and my views are different, but we are coming closer to a meeting of the minds. Either I'm going to agree with him or either he's going to agree with me because we're talking it out. At one point in time, I couldn't express how, well, it was difficult to explain to him how our company was designed. See, because we designed our business with everything that failed in the structured network marketing industry. And David was basically repeating everything that he learned over 25 years concerning network marketing. But when you say this will work, this will not work, that'll never work, nobody will get 5 people. Do you know 5 people? Yes. Then you have the ability to get 5 people.
Come on, brother.
See, all doves are white until you see a purple one. And then when you see a purple one, that kills that theory. So now, because you've never seen this system before,
come on, bro,
and you say you've seen remnants of it, you haven't taken the time out to truly understand how this one works. Or maybe I couldn't articulate it to you clear enough in order for you to do so. But we got to that point where he understood, but he still said that generally people do a binary or a matrix downline, right? Okay, it's time to do 5.
come on, brother.
But as I stated to him, we don't have to do 5 to be legal or to be work or to work. We don't have to do 5. We have 5 legs. It was designed for point of reference where every member sign up 5 members, but you don't have to. You can sign up 2. You can sign up 1, right? And then he was concerned about the legalities. Well, keep in mind what we were told by compliance attorneys and what have you. If your downline has the propensity or the opportunity to earn more than your upline, then you meet compliance there. Okay? You said we don't want all the business. Now, we don't want most network marketing companies that turn to Ponzi's or what have you, or pyramid scheme, they only sell to their members. Well, see, our members are paying for their membership. It's no different than Costco
Come on, brother.
or Sam. Keep in mind what Costco and Sam does. They issue you a card and a membership because they only want you to shop at that store. You follow me? So you, the member, if it's private, you have the right to shop at that store. If someone comes to that store and does not have a card, they're not gonna leave the checkout counter. But Sam's, Costco, and even Walmart, in this respect, they're smart. Why? Because they know that you're going to cheat. And what that means is you're going to bring in a family member or a friend that doesn't have a card, and you're going to let them shop off your card. But see where we're different? Every member that's registered,
Come on now.
right? They have a membership number. They're not so much buying a book, if you will. They're paying their monthly membership fee, and we're offering them the book. Am I splitting hairs? Yes, I am. Because that makes us legal.
Come on, brother.
Now I had one attorney say, hey, look, you got all of your people, you got to be able to sell your merchandise to someone that's not a member. I said, how many do I need to sell to in order to make it legit? He thought about it. All we need to sell is 1. See, because now here's the thing. In my mind's eye, we don't have to sell to any. All we have to do is make it available for non-members to purchase a book. And that's what happens with our bookshop.org. We are a retail store.
Come on, brother.
If no one goes in that store, does it not make it a store?
Come on now.
If a restaurant opens its doors, but no one comes to eat, does that not make it a restaurant still?
Come on, brother.
So we meet compliance by having a retail outlet. We meet compliance because anybody in any of our 5-level downlines can earn just as much or more than their sponsor.
Come on, brother.
Anyone in their upline. All right? So stop thinking that this is something that's unsavory, or this is something that's illegal. Every business operates from a pyramid structure. It has to operate that way. Every business. Ponzi didn't intend to rip people off. They regulated the price of the stamps. Ponzi had too much money in reserve, and greed got to him, or his pride, because he was successful until the government regulated the stamps. So Ponzi came up with a great idea. I'm going to start paying all of the new investors, all of the old investors, with the money from the new investors. That's not what we do here. You pay for a book, you get a book. You sign 5 members, you receive residual income in your commissions account. And that's who we are. And that's the long and short of it, ladies and gentlemen. That's pretty much it.
Hey, man, it's, we're here to, we're here to, as we close, we want to close with this comment, which is the actual fact. When you help someone help themselves, you then begin to activate blessings.
Absolutely.
Nothing spooky. You begin to activate that because you're helping someone. When you see our logo, our emblem, that's what that represents. That's what our logo represents. That's what our platform represents. Helping someone. Okay? Not helping someone drown, helping someone live. Okay? Because money is a tool. So we know we can't fix the issue in your thinking if your thinking does not align up right or change for the better. See? So with a financial solution to help those help themselves. Because it's a link. So we got a system that links help together. Okay? We're not gonna be, and we have that. There's other systems. And before we close, remember this. When you talk about other network marketing companies, we're one who don't have, you won't have no products to go sell. Okay? We're not making you a retail seller. With, you don't have no inventory. You're not recruiting no one. You're offering the opportunity. We're not recruiters, and you don't have no inventory. Like you heard my partner say, you do have a product. And that's what we extend to you, that opportunity to have that product and to extend that opportunity to help other people extend that opportunity. So
We'd like to thank you guys for showing up, coming on this Wednesday, brother. I'm a day ahead, but
day Wednesday, right?
Yeah, I said Tuesday. I said it wrong. I'm a day behind. Mm-hmm. But thank you guys for coming on board, man. We enjoy what we do.
Right.
We've stuck with it in spite of what a lot of people think and say. We're not hopping all over the place. We're studying the course. We started this thing with all this and different parts in our wheelhouse. We started it with that. And with that said, man, for all of you that show up every Wednesday, or whether you watch it during your own spare time, we appreciate you.
That's right.
And thank you. Peace.
Peace.